Hello, good morning. It's Leanne Peters here. I'm from templeofbalance.com.au, Temple of Balance on Facebook and Temple of Balance on YouTube. And I'm here to pull some cards and create a space of healing and support that hopefully resonates and supports you at this time. So while you're coming over, I want to send out a big extra special welcome to my Temple of Balance patrons, my Pillar of Light members, and all of those of you who support my work through my website. Thank you so much for your support. So I'm coming to you live from Tasmania, Australia, where it is Thursday the 7th of September here, and the time is 8:58 a.m. So welcome. My plan, my intention during our next 15 to 20 minutes that I'll be here. Hi, Pamela. I'll be pulling a card from my Healing Energy cards. I've got deck 1 and deck 2 combined. So we have 110 cards here to play with. So I'm going to be looking for the best Healing Energy card to support us and to guide the direction of this video and this support connection today. And then I'm going to play my chimes. My chakra chimes will be played to support that, whatever we talk about, and then I'll pull another card to go. So I'll be here for 15 to 20 minutes, depending on how much I've got to say, I guess. So I trust you're well and this message finds you well, and if not, I do trust that you receive something helpful and supportive for you during the time that we spend together today. I trust that you've been led here for a reason, and what that reason is will hopefully reveal itself as we go for you, or be personal for you, or may reveal itself later. Let's see what comes up. Think of this as a guide only, and just take on board what does feel right and fits into your life easily at this time. So the best card that the majority of us need right now when we're watching this video, whether it's live or later on the replay, the best card we need is this. It's from my Healing Energy cards, deck 1. And it's card 32. It's so funny because I literally just pulled this card for a private video I did for a certain someone. So this card, literally, I just pulled it out of 110 cards. And it's card 32, called Illusion. It's in the neutral category. So neutral category is center. It's like the crossroads as well. So it's like when we're in that point and we've got the crossroads or the other options around us and we're trying to figure out which path to take. It's kind of like a turning point time, but it's also center. And down here it says, hi Sam, it says turn your truth detector on. If uncertain, seek more information. The unknown can become your new reality. So this is the unknown. So this is highlighting, be careful. Well, it's natural to fear the unknown because the unknown is a scary unknown place and we don't know what's going to happen if we're facing the unknown, and whatever degree we might be facing that. If we're facing change, because change is the unknown. So, it's natural to feel fear and to feel scared, but the unknown can become, and probably is, becoming our new reality, but we may not see it yet. And the card says stay true to your morals and what is aligned with your truth. So basically, to me, illusion is sort of the opposite of truth, and anything that's not aligned with, well, this is what I think and feel from my experience and what I've noticed. It's anything that I notice that is not aligned with my truth or is not aligned with truth that feels true to me, is illusion. And that includes my hurt, my fear, my wounds, my issues, the things that feel very, very real, because illusion is real. It's not saying truth or illusion, that illusion is not real. It feels so very real, but it's kind of the opposite, not aligned with our truth. So I'm interested in, and I've been having this feeling this way for a very long time. I started my self-healing back in the year 2000. So I've been doing my self-healing work every day and in a very dedicated way for 23 years. And during that time, especially very early on, I started, and I continue doing it to this day, is I want to align myself with my highest truth. And I have to trust that if something's not aligned with my highest truth, then it's going to be probably reveal itself as a problem or as an issue that I need to let go or I need to resolve so I can stay aligned with my highest truth. I used to use my higher self, but I find there's something more grounding and something that resonates deeper with me about aligning myself with my highest truth. So that means that I have to trust that things that whip up or stir up in my life, or issues that come up that are not aligned with that I need to let go of, I have to trust that they are coming up so that I can release them because they don't align with my highest truth. And I've been living that way quite in a dedicated way for at least 10 years, if not longer. And it really works for me and aligns me up with things in my life that are aligned with my truth. And there are things to learn on the way. There are things to discover and uncover about ourselves personally, as well as we learn and as we shift out of those issues and those wounds and the illusion of the things that we've been buying into about our life or about ourselves that are not aligned with our truth. You know, like it could even be things that we believe about ourselves, like I'm not good enough, or that element of ourselves that sometimes, or perhaps a lot for some, wants to sabotage the good things in our life. These are not things aligned with our truth or our highest truth, or maybe they're the same thing. So I'm not interested in sabotaging my life. I'm not interested in spending much time, or any, if possible, complaining or being pulled away from myself, which is basically my highest truth. That's myself, that's me. And your higher truth, if this resonates with you, is you. And I'm not saying you need to think this same way that I do, but I'm just explaining that this is sort of the way I live my life, and it works for me. And maybe it might work for you too if you are struggling right now, or you're rolling around in the muddy, difficult parts of your life and you're struggling to get out. I find aligning with my highest truth and holding that value really strongly and at the forefront of my heart and my mind has also helped pull me out of those darker places in my life, and now keeps me out of those darker places in my life. But it's really important for me to be honest with my issues, though, because aligning with my highest truth doesn't mean I'm ignoring my issues. It means I'm actually facing them as honestly and in as honest and open way as I can, so that I can clear it or deal with the issue, resolve it, and take it, let it go, let it leave my body, let it leave my life, so that it's not pulling me out of myself. So what's pulling you out of yourself? First of all, I suppose, do you know what aligns you with yourself? Because if you're all over the place with yourself and you don't know who you are, then how can you align with who you are if you don't know who you are? You're probably scrambling around, wandering around life aimlessly. So establishing that understanding and foundation of self, you know, who are you? What makes you you? And those things that become, I see it like building the foundations of a tower, like bricks, or the foundations that are building on a tower. And this tower becomes our identity itself. It's not what we think we should be or who we should be or the titles we're labelled from society or who other people think we are. That's just confusing. I'm not really interested in other people's opinions and titles of me. I don't care who they are, even professional people. I want to establish my identity, my titles, myself aligned with me. I'm the one that can know me the best. You're the one that can know you the best. And it does take an element of confidence and trust to be able to do that. But if you're uncertain, if you don't know who you are, then you're going to be scattered all over the place. And it feels to me like, you know, like a container, like a vessel of liquid. And maybe when we know ourselves, we have that vessel, we have that container that contains us. If we don't know who we are, it's almost like there's no container and we're just left to spill out across the floor like we spilt a carton of milk or something, and it spreads out across the floor and we spread ourselves thin in this insecure way, perhaps because we don't have the container that can store that milk or can store this element or essence of ourselves. So if you don't know who you are, and if you've been asking or curious or desiring that, then this would certainly be your sign to start looking for yourself today. Now, how do you do that? You know, it's a big question, and it's a question a lot of people have, and we all have it at some point, I'm sure. So how do you find who you are? I think from my experience, I think paying attention to our thoughts, our feelings, our words, our actions, paying attention to the things that we react to or that we respond to, the things that we're drawn to, the things that excite us or that we're curious about. I love following my curiosities and the things that, why does that work? And I'm curious about it. I like following that. And it might just be for a short period. It might be for a period of learning. And then I want to look at that, whatever I'm pulled to. Like I absolutely love trees, and it's just been a part of me for as long as I can remember. But there was about a 1 year period where all I wanted to do was sculpt a tree out of clay. And can you imagine? I mean, I couldn't sculpt like a realistic size tree out of clay, but I wanted to get into this so deeply. So I had this I was so curious. I was so drawn to trees. I was just obsessed in some ways for that period, where I was trying to replicate the texture and the feeling and the shape and the character of these trees. So I was looking at also, okay, what does the tree represent for me? Why am I really drawn to that right now? What is that trying to teach me or tell me about the world, the universe, about myself, about life? So I trust those pulls as well, those curiosities. So paying a close attention to ourselves is a really important step, I've found anyway, to finding ourselves. So paying attention to who we are, what we're drawn to, what we're thinking, what we're saying, what we're doing. And I also like to consider and really get clear about my values and my ethics and my morals and the things that are important to me that I want to stick with, the things that I value, like being a loyal person, being committed, showing up, being consistent, being honest is certainly very high, if not the top thing on my list as well. So what are the important values that you like in others that you want to also see in yourself? People that don't display things that we value, maybe it's the opposite of what we value. Maybe someone who's a liar and a cheater and we just don't respect that at all. Those people also teach us about the type of person we don't want to be. So we can also learn about our values and our ethics and our morals by the people and the things we observe, even about ourselves, about who we don't want to be. So the things we do value, but also the things we don't, the things that we don't want to be, the people we don't want to be around, and the things we don't want to have as part of our life also help make up who we are. So as we establish these things, as we establish these core ideas and these core truths about ourselves, then that helps create that container that will then help give us something to grip, something to hold on to, something to align ourselves with, that I call my highest truth. You may want to call it something else. But I like the power and the words of that because it feels strong and it feels like it aligns with me and my character. And that's another thing about getting to know who we are. What are your unique aspects of your character? Are you a kind and caring person? Do you try and think the best of others? That's part of who you are. So what about your character or your strengths? How do you think about things? Can you get to know about the way you tick, the way you process things, the way you deal with things, the way you find your balance, the way you care for yourself, the way you cope with challenges? All these things also help make up who you are. So my recommendation, if this is something that you're pulled to and you want to know about who you are and not what society or others tell you, or not what you think other people want you to be or who other people want you to be. If you really want to find yourself and go on that journey, I highly recommend grabbing yourself a journal, a notebook. It could just be an exercise book, a notebook that you might get from the supermarket. Grab yourself a pen and start writing about your life and about yourself in your journal. The things that are important to you. Ask yourself questions in your journal and feel for the answers. And your first question might be, who am I? If that's something that you're drawn to, if this, what I'm talking about, is resonating with you today and you've been thinking about this, then maybe start your journal with the question, who am I? And then feel for the answer. You might not have an answer straight away. It might take you a few days to sit with that question and let little thoughts and ideas and things pop into your mind that you can add to your answer. So I find that so valuable in my journal, asking myself questions and feeling for the answer. And, it takes a little bit of practice, but it's so valuable. So aligning yourself with your highest truth, or aligning yourself with truth, which is the opposite of illusion. Your wounds, your issues are illusion. They're real, they feel real, but they are not aligned with your truth. Your wounds do not make you who you are unless you believe that to be so. I'm going to play the chimes for a couple of minutes. So I've got my chakra chimes, and I'm going to play these to help what? I feel bring clarity and a sense of desire, a sense of courage to go on the adventure and the call to exploration to find yourself. And you might be surprised that you know more about yourself than you realise. So if there's something else more pressing and important that you need right now, if you're going through a really difficult time and there's life and death things that are happening, then probably none of what I've talked about will resonate with you. And if that's the case, then I always encourage you to go gently when you're going through some big life-changing things. But if life's okay for you and you're led here because you are being called to find yourself and not be controlled by society in regards to what society said, who society says you are, or who others say you are, that is a strength. That is an absolute strength. So I'm going to play the chimes. There's nothing you can do wrong. Just listen and let the sound move into your body. Breathe it in and let this be a message from your highest truth, from your soul, from the strength of who you are, to give you something to move towards yourself. So take a nice big breath and I trust you enjoy. Take a nice big breath. So I was very much drawn to the throat chakra one, which is G. G in concert pitch is the throat chakra, and the throat chakra was very strong. So the throat chakra is our center for communication, expression, and truth, and getting to know who we are. It's a lot of that sits here in our throat. So see how you go. If you just joined in, I was playing the chimes and I've been talking in relation or inspired by this card 32, Illusion, which basically helps align us with our truth and clear the illusion out. I'm not interested in anything that doesn't align with my highest truth. So I need to release, I need to let the illusion go. So, thank you so much for joining me. I am going to pull a card to go. Before I do, I want to thank you so much. If you've enjoyed this video, please hit the thumbs up button. Please show us some love. Please comment. Please share if you're inspired to. And if you'd like to connect more privately, please send us a message through our website. If you'd like to learn more about me and the work I do at Temple of Balance, if you'd like to grab yourself a deck of healing energy cards, 1 or 2 or both, and combine them, or anything else on my website, please visit templeofbalance.com.au. Please come back and connect with this video throughout the weeks and months to come as a resource. If you've resonated with it and you need this reminder, just save the video for future viewing if you wish. So thank you, thank you, thank you. Let's grab the best card to go. So I'm looking for the best card that the majority of us need now as we move forward from here. This will be related to what I've just been talking about, and I'm looking for the card that we need. So I'm thinking when we turn this off and this video ends, what can we do to now bring this information and what we want to bring into our life in a practical way? What do we need to consider for what's next, for the next 24-ish hours? We have Healing Energy Cards, Deck 2, and it's this Flowing Free, card 97. It's also in neutral, in center. It says complete surrender. In surrender, there is peace. Move with each step. Participate actively in your life. You can trust in the direction that you're going. There's so much in this. This is freedom. This is freedom. This is flow. And this is what happens when we align with our highest truth, or whatever you want to call it. When we're living all scattered and spread out, when we're living insecure, wounded lives, we don't feel free. In fact, it's very trapping and very uncomfortable for the body. It's very heavy and very burdensome and very difficult. So if your life has become heavy and burdened and difficult and your issues are just all-consuming, then this is probably also a sign for you to really look at what you can shift and how you can turn your life around. And if you're waiting on other people to do that for you, then that is probably part of the problem. So once you realize that it's probably easier than you think to get started, and that you have the power in your hands to turn things around today, don't put it off. Don't put it off till tomorrow or next week or when it's your birthday or the new year. People do that. That's the excuse of people who don't follow through, is my experience. Start today. Start now. Get out your journal. Find an exercise book or a piece of paper, or start a notepad on your phone and ask yourself perhaps that question, that big question, who am I? And start your conscious quest to find yourself, to pull you out of the dark parts of your life and into an alignment with your truth, with a confidence in yourself and a trust in where you're going, and the freedom that comes from this, the freedom and the flow. To let your hold go on the things that you've been holding on to that aren't working, the wounds, what happened in the past. How long will you hold on to these things? How long will you keep yourself bitter and heavy and burdened by what happened a year or 5 or 10 or 20 or 30 years ago. It's time to free yourself now, to let your hold go on this and take from it the lessons that you learned. Because that also helps make you who you are. The lessons that we learn from those things makes us us. You learned the type of people you can't trust. You learned the type of person you don't want to be. You gained experience from that situation. All is not lost because of it. So is it time for you to let your hold go now and let it go and surrender and just let it wash away so that you can become more aligned, more confident in yourself? This is what we need in the world. We need more people aligned with themselves, aligned with their truth, and feeling strong and confident and clear about themselves instead of being dictated to by society and the wounds of the past. It seems to be like a cool thing at the moment that everyone seems wounded. Everyone is wounded, but it's our choice whether we let those wounds dictate to us what our life's going to be, a wounded life, or whether we grow and evolve from that, whether we rise up from the ashes like the phoenix from those wounds and become a better person. So it's up to us. So there's a lot in there. Anyway, flowing free is our card. In surrender, there is peace. If you want to feel peace, you might need to consider letting go. So thank you so much. I trust this supports you. Have a great rest of your day. And I'll be back to share with you again very, very soon. Take care and namaste. Namaste means that the Creator, the divine within me, honours and acknowledges the divine, the Creator in you. That we are equal, we are one. So thank you for being who you are. And I'll chat with you soon. Bye.